Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul. I'll worship Your holy name.
A reading from the Book of Wisdom. The night of the Passover was known beforehand to our fathers, that, with sure knowledge of the oaths in which they put their faith, they might have courage. Your people awaited the salvation of the just and the destruction of their foes. For when you punished our adversaries, in this you glorified us, whom you had summoned. For in secret, the holy children of God were offering sacrifice and putting into effect with one accord the divine institution. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Our soul waits for the Lord, who is our help and our shield. May Your kindness, O Lord, be upon us, who have put our hope in You. Blessed the people the Lord has chosen to be His own.
A reading from the letter to the Hebrews. Brothers and sisters, faith is the realization of what is hoped for and evidence of things not seen. Because of it, the ancients were well attested. By faith, Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to a place that he was to receive as an inheritance. He went out, not knowing where he was to go. By faith, he sojourned into the promised land as in a foreign country, dwelling in tents with Isaac and Jacob, heirs of the same promise. For he was looking forward to the city with foundations, whose architect and maker is God. By faith, he received power to generate, even though he was past the normal age, and Sarah herself was sterile. For he thought that the one who had made the promise was trustworthy. So it was that there came forth from one man, himself as good as dead, descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, and as countless as the sands on the seashore. All these died in faith. They did not receive what had been promised, but saw it and greeted it from afar, and acknowledged themselves to be strangers and aliens on earth. For those who speak thus show that they are seeking a homeland. If they had been thinking of the land from which they had come, they would have had the opportunity to return. But now, they desire a better homeland, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for He has prepared a city for them. By faith, Abraham, when put to the test, offered up Isaac, and he who had received the promises was ready to offer his only son, of whom it was said, "Through Isaac, descendants shall bear your name." He reasoned that God was able to raise even from the dead, and he received Isaac back as a symbol. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Alleluia. what day your Lord will come. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "Do not be afraid any longer, little flock, for your Father is pleased to give you the kingdom. Sell your belongings and give alms. Provide money bags for yourselves that do not wear out, an inexhaustible treasure in heaven, that no thief can reach nor moth destroy. For where your treasure is, there also will your heart be. Gird your loins and light your lamps, and be like servants who await their master's return from a wedding, ready to open immediately when he comes and knocks. Blessed are those servants whom the master finds vigilant on his arrival. Amen, I say to you, he will gird himself, have them recline at table, and proceed to wait on them. And should he come the second or third watch, find them prepared in this way, blessed are those servants. Be sure of this, if the master of the house had known the hour when the thief was coming, he would not have let his house be broken into. You also must be prepared, for in an hour you do not expect, the Son of Man will come." Then Peter said, "Lord, is this parable meant for us or for everyone?" And the Lord replied, "Who then is the faithful and prudent steward, whom the master will put in charge of his servants to distribute the food allowance at the proper time? Blessed is that servant whom his master on arrival finds doing so. Truly I say to you, the master will put the servant in charge of all his property. But if that servant says to himself, 'My master is delayed in coming,' and begins to beat the men servants and the maid servants, to eat and drink and get drunk, then that servant's master will come on an unexpected day and at an unknown hour, and will punish the servant severely, and assign him a place with the unfaithful. That servant who knew his master's will but did not make preparations, nor act in accord with his will, shall be beaten severely. And the servant who was ignorant of his master's will but acted in a way deserving of a severe beating, shall be beaten only lightly. Much will be required of the person entrusted with much, and still more will be demanded of the person entrusted with more." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Today you're going to get a short homily for once, because I have a flight out of John Wayne Airport later this morning. A short homily. Provide money bags for yourselves that do not wear out, an inexhaustible treasure in heaven. Treasure in heaven. Faith and our hope make our life so much easier. In the first reading, we heard about the Israelites. All they had to do was just put the blood of the lamb on their doors, and the destroying angel saved them. And St. Paul, in today's second reading from Hebrews, talks about the faith of Abraham, and how just by faith he was able to do everything. And that's the truth. What's impossible without faith and hope is possible, and sometimes even easy with faith and hope. But you have to have that faith and hope until the day you die. Until then. I will give you one simple example from my own life. When I was a young man, before I was in seminary, and I was thinking about what am I going to do with my life, I thought, well, it'd be a great thing to be a priest, but it seemed really hard, and I don't know if I could do it. I really wanted to have a big family. I wanted to get married and have a big, beautiful Catholic family. That was my inclination of my heart. But I said to the Lord, if you want me to be a priest, you're going to have to give me the grace to be a priest. So one day, as I was praying about it, I read a passage in the scriptures that said that those who give up children for the sake of the kingdom will receive a more satisfying inheritance in the temple of the Lord. And I understood what that meant. It meant that if I willingly give up these things for God, then I'll receive them in a better way in the life to come. And I reasoned this way with myself. Well, everything good in my future wife and children would actually just be borrowed from God. They'd just be a faint reflection of God's goodness. So if I voluntarily give those things up for the sake of God, then in the next life I'll receive directly from God whatever was the source of that goodness. And so I said, well, it's not that I'm giving up marriage and family. I'm just putting it off for 60 years for a better experience. When I put it to myself that way, and I believed it, I had faith and hope, then what was impossible became possible for me. And I can say today I'm a very happy priest. Very happy, but only because of my faith and my hope. What was impossible becomes possible. Now, brothers and sisters, all of you have something impossible in your life. All of you do. But if you have faith and you have hope, it will be possible and perhaps even easy.